and welcome to the Draft Social Media Podcast. It's what social media managers are talking about. I'm Caitlin McKenzie, and on today's Coffee Break episode, I'm joined by some fab members of the Draft team. We've got social media manager Nicole.
Hello.
Social media assistant Chloe.
Hi.
And senior social media manager Dom.
Hello.
Great, guys. So how are you doing? This is our first ever Coffee Break episode, so it's a little bit different to regular programming. We just have a cuppa, take a little bit of time out of the regular working day. What beverages have you all joined the coffee break with?
Coffee, of course.
Excellent.
Got my coffee here.
Nice. How do you take it? Is it black, milky?
Milky with 1 sugar. Yeah.
I'm trying out almond milk for the first time. I'm usually just drink it black, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I quite like having oats milk as well. It brings a bit of sweetness to my coffee. Quite like it.
Absolutely. Chloe, you're very quiet. Did you forget a beverage?
I am trying to avoid an awkward situation. I am not a hot beverage drinker, so I have a glass of water with me. Don't judge.
Too late. Judge.
You can tell I'm not English. I don't have tea with me.
Well, I guess it's good to hydrate.
That is very true.
So, Chloe, you were telling us a little bit before about something exciting that happened to you on Instagram today. Pray tell.
Yes, I'm having a very exciting day today. I have started using the Reels app on Instagram. For those who have listened to previous podcasts, you will know I'm against TikTok and have converted to Reels exclusively. And one of my Reels that I posted last week has sort of, I don't know, it's gone viral, if I do say so myself. I'm currently on 61,000 views and 2,000 comments, which is very exciting.
Amazing.
And a new experience for me.
We have a celebrity in our midst. Yeah. What do you do in the reel?
It's a, I'll show you guys because you guys can see, but it's like a slow motion video of me showing some outfits that I'm wearing. I dropped my phone on the floor very irresponsibly in slow motion. So there we go.
That's so cool. How long did that take you to make?
It was actually harder than it looks, right? I saw someone else post something similar and I went, oh, that's quite a cool idea. But when you drop your phone, it tends to sort of spin out. So it was really hard to get like a straight drop and get like a full outfit into it. So I'm ashamed to say it took like probably a full hour, but hey, worth it, clearly.
It's worth it, clearly worth it.
Exactly.
So how do you feel about that? Because that, I don't know if you're not a TikTok fan, that is a big TikTok trend, that dropping off the phone. So you're putting that on Instagram. So what's going on?
I mean, don't use TikTok. I hadn't seen it. I think I've only seen like 2 people do it on Instagram, and I'm not sure. I think it's quite easy to kind of go viral on TikTok. So I'm kind of reserved in my excitement because I'm sure this is just a general happening for people who do this kind of thing. But yeah, it's cool to kind of be able to share content in a new way that all on the one platform, you know?
One thing it shows as well is that with TikTok, the organic reach is pretty incredible at the moment. And if you're getting that sort of reach on Instagram, which we all know is becoming a lot more of a saturated platform, and organic reach is getting harder and harder to achieve. So the fact that you've got that many views, it sort of shows the, maybe the benefits of Reels is that it's opening up the ability to reach a wider market for you.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the Instagram community, everyone's really frustrated with the algorithm at the moment. So, and I posted this reel probably 3 days ago. So it's quite cool to see that there are still new ways to kind of break through the barrier. Even, usually an Instagram post kind of has that 24-hour window and then nobody sees it. So to have this kind of traction 3 days later, I think is quite cool. But I think because reels are relatively new, they're showing up more on people's feeds at the moment. So if you want to get on Reels in the next week while it's still shiny and new, because Instagram, I think, is showing it a lot more to users, which is quite cool.
You should post it on TikTok.
Oh,
Post on TikTok.
Yeah.
I will create a
yeah.
TikTok account just for this, and it will just be the one
It's
video.
tried and tested. I always feel like platforms kind of like reward early adopters. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you just roll with the punches straight away, then they're like great. And I guess in the grand scheme of things, way less people are posting reels. Not that that video is not the best thing I've ever seen, and it deserves to trend show. But do you know what I mean? I guess it is like, yeah, like you said, like way less saturated.
Yeah.
Do you throw hashtags on there? Like, I'm just curious about how do you
I've posted 2 reels now, guys. And the first one I just threw it up in the afternoon, like no prep, I didn't post any hashtags with it. Like, I didn't post it at a good time of the day. And then this one I did chuck in a few hashtags, and then posted kind of at prime time, as they say. So yeah, I'm not sure. I think there's definitely something to it. It's, first come, best served, it seems. And I know a few people have complained that on Instagram at the moment, once you've watched one reel, your entire newsfeed is just saturated with reels.
I've
So
noticed that as well, yeah.
yeah, it's interesting how they're kind of rolling it out, but yeah.
Cool.
Either of you guys posted a reel yet, or seen any you like, or are you just diehard TikTokers for life?
I am a huge TikTok fan. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to find it quite hard to convert. It was like when Instagram stories first came out and everyone was like, oh, copying
Sure.
Snapchat, and now we're all over there. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I haven't actually watched any reels yet. Maybe I just need one and then I'll get caught on it. But does it just appear like a normal post? How does it work?
So when you post, it's quite an interesting process. To like create a reel, you go into like as if you were going to post a story, but then you select reel, and then of course you can record it in live time or upload sort of a pre-recorded video, and then it posts. Then you can either select to post it to your feed like a IGTV video, or you can just keep it on your reels tab. Which that's all I've done so far, is just keep it exclusive to that tab. But if you want to like sort of watch reels, they're all on the explore page. So I don't know, is that complicated? I don't know, like I can't compare it to TikTok, so
I'm not gonna lie, I
I don't know.
Google it. I was like, I was trying to look for it in the app. I was like, where is it? Which is embarrassing for someone who works in social media. I had to do the same thing recently with a live video as well. I was like, I can't remember where it is. But yeah, I thought it was kind of complicated. For anyone listening who also doesn't understand how to post an Instagram reel, we are publishing a guide on that. So that will be linked in the description below very soon. So watch this space. But yeah, I actually have posted 2. I've dabbled. I have a little like travel hobby Instagram page. Ooh. And I've just done like a few sunset pans to a song. But it's quite funny because I'm exactly the same. Like, don't have TikTok, just watch it on like Twitter or something if it comes up. But I'm a low-key obsessed with reels already. Like, I'm ready to commit some time.
Have you seen that? Like, I wonder how it's going to work in like the music space. I know that's not really sort of the main thing to talk about, but you see like Miley Cyrus released her song that was like available on Instagram. So I wonder how many like pop stars are going to be releasing songs for people to use on Instagram reels. I think that's quite interesting.
Well, Jason Derulo's got to be all over it.
That's so true.
Definitely. I would love to know how much money Instagram spend on like influencers and content creators, because I don't know if you guys went on Instagram the day it launched, but my whole timeline was just like beauty blogger, Instagram reel, like celebrities, left, right, and center. I bet it's a pretty penny to try and like steal the market from TikTok.
Yeah. And Jason Derulo is like collaborated with like Will Smith now, because Will Smith is quite creative on Instagram, and then you guess like Jason Derulo is quite creative on TikTok. Now they've come together and they're doing a lot of videos on Instagram, which are actually pretty good, to be fair. I don't know if you saw the one where Jason Derulo was like playing golf and then he knocked Will Smith's teeth out. I mean, he didn't actually knock his teeth out, but it looked pretty cool.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, you have artists like Justin Bieber and Jason Derulo who are now sort of releasing songs almost just for TikTok, and that's kind of their main way to market it, is that people will dance along to these songs. So, and now I guess more mainstream, like actors like Will Smith are jumping onto the bandwagon. It's cool to see, you know, social media kind of blow up in this way as like a real, I guess, not mainstream marketing technique, but for people, you know, big celebrities to use it as a way to sell products or sell themselves, which is quite cool to watch.
I remember I read this thing probably a few years ago now, but it was how back in the day, celebrities, the whole sort of point of them was to have this mystique about them, you know, they want to be a bit mysterious, and they just wanted to be seen like at all these lavish events, whereas now they're all sort of coming down to our level in a sense, you know, they're joining us on all our platforms, they're acting like our best friends, and we sort of have this urge to know everything about them, which is quite interesting, I think. And like you said, with TikTok and things, they're all coming onto these platforms and trying to blow up in a different way to sort of mainstream stardom. It's rather like, yeah, it's interesting.
They're trying to get down with the kids, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of what we were talking about in our coronavirus episode, where like there's just this new wave of authenticity. Like for such a long time, there wasn't for a couple of months, there's not been like airbrushing, especially in the UK and stuff. There's not been the big productions that maybe went into stuff before. People just had to be real because that's what we wanted to see. I don't know about you guys, but I just love seeing that. I can't think of a single celebrity right now, which is classic, but I mean, Kim Kardashian wasn't having a bad time, but like, well, maybe she was, but for completely other reasons. But like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of nice to just see people let us into their lives. I mean, maybe we're wasting time like looking at what Brie Larson's having for breakfast, but I'm interested.
Yeah, I think you do get like a lot of celebrities that are letting you into your lives, but then they're also doing it for the reason that at some point they are going to try and promote something to you, whether it is a product or whether it is their music or it's their next movie. You know, they're all doing this for a reason. They want our attention because they are going to end up promoting a product to us, which, you know, a lot of businesses, that's why you're on social media. You're promoting your product.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. They're just like great brands, I guess, aren't they? Like, in an effect, that's kind of not to talk shop on our coffee break, but like that's what a great brand should do, isn't it? Like, you're just really interested in everything about them. You have like such high brand sentiment, and then they're like, oh, and here's a t-shirt, and you're like, I need that t-shirt. Whether the t-shirt's a movie or a TV, you know, you feel me?
Yeah, definitely.
So what type of profiles do you follow? What type of accounts do you all follow on Instagram?
That's so interesting because I feel like I don't follow a lot of like celebrities or even brands really per se. Like, I go through phases where I follow all the Kardashians and then I just get sick of them and then I unfollow all of them again. So, you know, I get sick of seeing that unrealistic ideal of beauty and whatnot. But yeah, I'm quite into the fashion industry, so I do follow a lot of fashion bloggers and a few fashion brands and not much else really, which I feel kind of limits my intake. But hey, what about you guys?
I think, yeah, I definitely go through phases of who I follow and what I see. I think on Instagram, I've fallen into a trap almost of entering so many competitions that I now follow the weirdest people and brands. But that's what I'm just addicted to, entering competitions because I want to win. And I've won a few in my day. Yeah, I won a smartwatch a few weeks ago. So yeah, there's merit in it. I like it. And I actually come to know these brands that I follow after entering for no reason.
Do you unfollow them, Nicole, after you?
No. But I end up like genuinely interested. Like, there's a bunch of sort of small businesses, particularly in the last few months, who have just sort of tried to build up their following. And now I'm just like, yes, you go. Like, Random Cafe in Portsmouth, I'll visit you one day. You know, just because I think it's an engaging way to get people in. If it's a good enough competition, if they do it on a regular basis, I'm like, hey, why not? Sign me up.
You're not a dream, I reckon.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I think I have. I mean, I seem to have accumulated a bunch of Instagram profiles over the years with like different projects. Like, oh, I'm going to be a beauty blogger. I'm going to be this. No. But, like, I have a personal one, obviously, and I think I say I mostly follow like people I know or people I've met. it's like a more aesthetic version of Facebook for me in a way. Like I like just seeing what my mates are up to, a few brands. There's a few randoms in there for sure. But then, yeah, I have like a travel-y one, and that's mostly just like travel accounts. And I've kind of noticed recently I've been just like really cracking on with it in lockdown, and I have like this technique, which is, I don't know if it's like super authentic or not, but like I just go on, I think it's a community management hack, to be honest, but it's resulted in some really, really nice like friendships, kind of like where like I'll follow like a bunch of followers of like an account that I deem similar to me, and then the ones that follow back I tend to like build a relationship with. People like send you a DM or they comment on your picture, and then whilst that's all, you know, back of house community management algorithm gold, like it's also just really nice. So I feel like it's quite nice like meeting all these like little travelers from like around the world with their pretty feeds, and it's just really wholesome. I like it. So yeah, I have two very different feeds. How about you, Dom?
Yeah, so I did go through a phase of like following a lot of celebrities, and I think you get to that stage where you're sort of looking at their photos and it's just not realistic to real life, and I think at some point it played like a negative effect on you when you keep looking at it and you wish you had that lifestyle. So I sort of stopped following the Kardashians and other big known sort of celebrities, and tried to like just narrow it down a bit, and like obviously follow family, friends. And the type of sort of celebrities that I would follow now are ones that I either have a general interest in because they're in my industry, like Gary Vee or Stephen Bartlett, because they post a lot of positive things and a lot of social media content, which obviously is quite relevant to us. And yeah, just anything that is quite positive and not so fake. But then all like accounts that are creative, like I do follow The Rock, Will Smith, Kevin Hart. I do follow those sort of. But that's what I've been following recently.
I actually find LinkedIn to be one of the most social platforms, because when you mentioned sort of like different social media accounts sort of in the industry, I find on LinkedIn they always have really interesting like industry news, and I love sort of being updated with that. And I think on LinkedIn you always get recommended those like positive stories of someone who's applied for a job and never thought they'd get it, and they've got this amazing job, and you always see like really good motivational quotes. So I'd recommend LinkedIn for that as well. Like that's, for me, that's like what I go to.
Do you guys ever get FOMO from LinkedIn? Like my feed is, I don't know how, like it's just full of people like posting like really cool professional like achievements and stuff, and I have nothing to post about apart from this podcast, which I promoted this morning. But I feel like I'm not interesting enough, you know.
That's not true. That is not true, Chloe. You are interesting enough. I think you have so much stuff to talk about, definitely.
I completely agree. I just said like, yeah, I get what you mean, but I didn't mean that. I just meant, I like feel similar sometimes. Like I feel like maybe like LinkedIn's in a different phase, like as a platform, because I remember when Instagram started, it was just like a massive highlights reel, right? Just like the nicest bit of your day and like the best you looked on a night out and that kind of thing. I mean, I guess it still is that, but maybe LinkedIn's kind of, I guess you're trying to showcase yourself, right? So you're like, look at this thing I did and this thing I did. But then sometimes, especially during coronavirus, I was like, how are people still doing such awesome things?
It is good to see, though. I see a lot of people do share their successes, and it's quite nice here. You get to see their journey. I have a lot of like business owner connections, and obviously people in our industry connections as well. So yeah, I know what you mean, Chloe. You do sort of see people that are always posting about their accomplishments, and you do think, oh, well, really, that's great, that's amazing for them. But what am I doing now?
I haven't posted since 2019. Like, do you guys find then oh, sorry, Caitlin, you go. No, I was going to say, I feel like this is quite an obvious answer, but do you find that you follow different kinds of, Facebook aside, because that's mostly just family and friends, but do you have like Instagram, you may be following celebs, and then, you know, Twitter, you might be following politicians? Like, have you seen you've got quite a spread?
Me, for sure. Like Twitter, it's pretty much football, because that's where I see a lot of transfer news and just people talking about football. I always go to Twitter about it, and then Instagram is definitely like more fitness or social media sort of related. Not that I'm a fitness buff, but I like to watch fitness videos. Not that I actually do it, but
yeah, definitely the same. I think sort of as we were saying, Instagram is quite aspirational, and I sort of go on there just to see all this really nice content and see what my friends are up to. Follow a few brands that I want to support in some way. And then LinkedIn is just sort of more industry news, and that's sort of what it's built for. And then I'd say Twitter is filled with, well, Twitter's probably my main news source just for the world these days. 100%. So I go on there, check the news on Twitter, as you do. And then in terms of following people, I think it's I don't know, I've accumulated a lot of strangers, a lot of weirdos, but that's okay. I want to see what's going on in the world, That's probably my 3 sort of main uses for each of them.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I have no idea who I follow on Twitter. I literally just like to go on there for a bit of diversion. It's sort of like a break. Like, yeah, I see the news, but then some random Twitter famous person that posts like memes or from New York or something. I honestly don't know who these people are or how I came to follow them, but I might occasionally see like a funny trending tweet and I'm like, add this. Yeah, it's It's like a weird pub on a busy day. Do you know what I mean? I don't know who any of these people are, but I'm just happy to be there.
Definitely. I think Twitter's kind of originated the word viral in my opinion. Like going Twitter viral, and you see all these random accounts and these really cool things that people can do. I don't know if you've seen this, Caitlin, or anyone else. You just see people who are like, I don't know, they're even individuals who are like, please help me, with this GoFundMe page or something, and someone who's created like this amazing image gets spotlighted by the brand. It's just so cool to watch. I think it's a really interesting tool for brands to talk to real people, almost more than any other platform. I think you genuinely connect with someone on Twitter. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I think when somebody wants to voice their opinion, Twitter is just the place that they go to, and that's where I think, as going to a brand point of view, it's really good to be on Twitter so that you can see what people are talking about. 'Cause that's the only way you're ever going to learn if your product or service is working, is by feedback from your customers. So I think that's where Twitter has its.
I think that's
where it's really good.
That's a really interesting point, because I was just like forming. I've been on like a train before, and they've had a thing like, is there something wrong with your carriage? Tweet us. And I couldn't help but think, is that the right thing to do? Because like, you're basically encouraging people to, because you're not going to comment, you're not going to tweet and be like, my carriage is delightful today. Like, it's just not going to happen. But if there's like, I don't know, a banana peel, I don't know. But you might I thought it's really strange when people encourage negative brand sentiment, but I guess maybe you're right, Dom. Like, that's a good place that gets a good barometer of like social listening to see what people think about your brand.
And if you provide a good enough response, or if you actually help them with their issue, then you've immediately sort of converted them in a way. So it's a great sort of direct line to finding someone who does have an issue. I know I have tweeted many brands when I have an issue with my delivery order or anything like that. And usually if they reply quick enough, I am happy as Larry, So
I can imagine your feed just being full of competitions, retweeting competitions.
That's exactly what it is. I enter a lot of competitions and I complain a lot. That's it.
The ideal consumer.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys find that you kind of like fangirl on LinkedIn? I don't know if I'm just a nerd, but we were just talking about like bringing us closer to people. But I think especially, I'm kind of still at the very start of my career, like fresh out of uni, and like I see like copywriters from like brands that I absolutely love. So like if I make a connection with like a copywriter at Innocent Smoothies, I'm like, oh. It's just like big. And like, do you guys have any things like that, brands that you admire that you've been able to interact with? Like, it's quite a nice way to connect, right?
Yeah, 100%. There's loads of like business owners that I admire. And you connect with them or you attempt to connect with them, and then when they actually accept it, you're like, whoa. No, especially when you admire this person, they've connected with you, and it sort of shows that they've acknowledged you, even if it's for that brief moment of time. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool in that aspect.
You guys can't see, but Dom's glowing just thinking about all the connections he's made. He's got a really beautiful smile on his face.
Yeah. So they'll listen to this and then unconnect with me. Please don't.
Let's be best friends. Come on the podcast.
Yeah, definitely. I think sort of going back to what we were saying before is that I love seeing all of these sort of stories of business owners and how they've adapted or how they've, become a success. I think you guys probably saw the other day the Gymshark story. They reached 1 billion. I don't know what it was, but I just saw 1 billion and thought, whoa. Wow, yeah, exactly. It's amazing. And I think he directly posted on LinkedIn and sort of shared his thoughts on how long it took to get there and how hard he worked. I think stories like that are perfect for LinkedIn because it does give you a little personal insight into their business journey, not just their day-to-day life. So yeah, I think it's really good to connect in that way.
Especially when they're so young, the owner of Gymshark is very young. His name's Ben. And it's great to see young entrepreneurs doing so well, so successful.
I saw I think I followed Brewdog. I think they went on Dragon's Den and they got turned away from Dragon's Den, and look at them now. And I mean, yeah, I would never have known about that story if it wasn't for LinkedIn. So it's encouraging. You're maybe while we're oh, I'm not doing all those fun things that everyone else is doing, but it's kind of, it's the new aspirational platform. We'll be doing that soon. Coming at you, Dragon's Den. So you guys doing anything else for the rest of your day?
No.
Making more reels, Chloe.
Yeah. Got my pen and paper out, jotting ideas.
Post about it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, thinking of things to post on LinkedIn.
Nicole's been searching competitions this week.
I'm pretty sure Boohoo do an hourly competition thing. So 5 o'clock, I'll be there entering. One day.
That. I'm always getting tagged in Nasty Gal competitions, by my friends. Yeah. And I mean, it's only polite to enter back, so. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's all we've got time for today on our first ever coffee break. To everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you had a nice cuppa and settled into what it's like to be a member of the Giraffe team. If you enjoyed listening today, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you have a spare moment, feel free to leave us a glowing review on Apple Podcasts. You know we love one of those. We're also on all major social channels, so connect with us there and let us know what you think about Instagram Reels or any of the other things we talked about today. We've been Giraffe Social Media. You've been so amazing. We'll see you next time.